What's up, guys? Welcome back to Chiefs Chat. Today we're doing the Chiefs versus Cardinals game recap. Okay, week 1 in the books, and it was a fantastic win. I mean, the Chiefs, man, we just went out there and dominated, I expected it to be a much closer game. The Cardinals, they're a good team. It didn't look like they were, too good of a team in that one against the Chiefs, but I promise you guys, this Cardinals team, they are good. They've made the playoffs past couple of seasons. Kyler Murray is a good quarterback. Okay, that defense isn't too shabby. They were missing a couple of guys. That might have made the difference, but, trust me, that Cardinals team, they're not too bad. They're definitely a playoff team. And we went out there and we crushed them, which is such a great sign. Such a great sign for this football team. It means that we're just ready to go. A lot of people had questions. Not necessarily, about whether or not we were going to be good, because I think people knew that we were going to be a solid team, but are we going to be able to continue the dominance without Tyreek Hill? Are we going to be able to pick up, fire on all cylinders with these new players? And the answer to that question is a resounding yes. We went out there and dominated, okay? These new players, they came in and they contributed, okay? We got it from everywhere. And of course, our big boy Travis Kelce had a fantastic game, okay? He's our guy. So, it's just, I could not have been more happy, about the way we performed. That's exactly what I was looking for offensively. We went out there, we spread the ball around, we scored a bunch of points, okay? Patrick Mahomes, 5 touchdowns, no picks. He was flawless, he was perfect, okay? And this guy, man, I watched a lot of football this weekend. You guys know I'm a huge football fan. I watched a lot of football. And I do not see another quarterback in the NFL who is just as perfect as Patrick Mahomes is. This dude can just do anything. When it's a 2nd and 8 or like a 3rd and 5, those type of situations, I look at other teams and I'm like, I don't know if we're going to pick this up. I don't know if they're really going to be able to get down the field. But when I look at the Chiefs play, I'm like, this is light work. This is easy. And it wasn't just Patrick Mahomes making these crazy throws. It was also the fact that our receivers, they were always open. It seemed like every single play they had a lot of separation. They were doing some great things against these Carolina corners, and it was just too easy. And you can also see, we're not even, this is a complicated playbook. You guys saw, we put that on full display here in this game against the Cardinals. We're doing a lot of crazy things and a lot of creative things, I might add. Andy Reid, just people don't give him enough respect. I know, he's regarded as one of the best head coaches in the NFL, but he's doing crazy, awesome things. Really, really solid game plan, amazing plays, crafted to perfection. He's doing this on a weekly basis here against the Arizona, starting the year off against the Arizona Cardinals. He's already pulling crazy plays out of the playbook, How deep does that playbook go? I'm not too sure. But gosh, just looking at the surface level plays, this dude, he's got, one of the most creative minds in the history of the NFL. Andy Reid, this dude's fantastic. This is just amazing. The fact that we were able to get down to the goal line and we were able to score with such flawless effort. It was easy. You saw that bowling pass, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You saw that Mecole Hardman, running across the field in motion, and then a freaking dot by Patrick Mahomes. That was beautiful. These plays are just beautiful. And anybody who watches NFL football, anybody who appreciates the game of football, has to be able to acknowledge that these are just beautiful run plays. These are just flawless. It's excellent, what these players are doing. And we're doing all this with like a completely new offense. These are just new players. These are new guys coming in, and they are just dominating. They're picking they're picking up the playbook, and they are running with it. They're just playing to perfection. They've already got this thing down perfectly. That's how all these guys, man, they're all in. They're ready to go. They're ready to compete for a championship. That was just perfect. Exactly what I wanted to see from all the new players on the team. You had Mecole Hardman had a pretty solid game. MVS had a pretty solid game. He had a couple receptions. I think he had 4 receptions for 40 yards. Juju Smith-Schuster had a lot of receptions. I think he had like 6 for 60 yards or something like that. So everybody's getting involved. And then, of course, you got the big boy Travis Kelce with, I think it was 9 catches, 100-something yards, a touchdown. Fantastic. Okay, just great stuff. And, talking about the defense, I think we really did a pretty solid job. Again, like I said, Kyler Murray, not a bad quarterback at all. Kyler Murray is a pretty solid quarterback, definitely hovering around that top 10, I would say. But we just, really did a solid job against him. Our defensive line was creating pressure. That's something I was really happy about. Our defensive line was really getting there. Chris Jones had a pretty solid game. Chris Jones up the middle, George Karlaftis and Frank Clark creating pressure on the edge, and then of Carlos Dunlap with that nice sack. You know, he's a nice addition. He's going to bring a nice veteran presence to this defensive line. And, you know, we saw, you know, right off the bat in week 1, he's getting his sacks. Okay, he is doing his thing. Fantastic job by him. Our corners, you know, we had a couple of nice plays. I saw Justin Watson had a fantastic play. Super good stuff from him. You know, I saw him, you know, I think it was like, I forgot who he was throwing it to, but he was like a sideline throw. Justin Watson, man, textbook stuff from the cornerback position. I mean, just ripping the ball out, incomplete. It was fantastic, okay? Just such a great game. Honestly, overall, such a great game. The only thing is that our defense kind of slipped up at the end, you know, allowed a couple of touchdowns. But you know what, man? It was garbage time. And at that point, I think a lot of the guys, you know, I saw a couple of, like, I saw Deion Bush on the field. I saw Brian Cook on the field on defense. So we were kind of starting to rotate our second and third string guys in there. So, you know, just a really good game. Just so good. I mean, only 22 points. I think they scored 22, right? 22 points. I mean, that's a really good job. You know, that's a really solid job by the Chiefs defense. And if, you know, honestly, we're going to win all of our games. I mean, honestly, I would not be surprised if we won every single one of our games. You know, only, you know, if our defense consistently only allows 22 points, I mean, that's really good. Because 9 times out of 10, the Chiefs are going to score more than 22 points, you know? So that's just really good stuff from our defense. Another thing I want to address, Harrison Butker, that was kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know if you guys exactly remember what happened, but like, he was getting ready to kick off, and his left foot like planted into the ground and it slipped, and he like twisted his ankle and it's got swollen, and he couldn't kick for a little bit. So Justin Reed came in. Okay, this dude, we were joking about him being the backup kicker in the preseason. You know, he had a couple of extra point attempts and he made them, so we're like, oh, backup kicker. But he literally is the backup kicker. I mean, this is not a joke. This is not a drill. He is the guy. You know, most teams, you know, they bring their punter out there, but this time we're like, hey, let's get this guy Justin Reed in there, have him kick a couple of extra points, and he was doing the kickoffs for most of the game. And he was booting those things. I mean, he kicked like his very first kickoff when he first did it. He literally sent it right through the uprights. I haven't seen that. You know, I don't see a lot of kickers do that. You know, that's tough to do. But Justin Reed came out there and just booted it. I mean, this dude. That's how you know this dude is just an athlete. This dude is fantastic. I mean, they talked about how he used to play soccer. You know, he was the kicker on their high school team. Did a little bit of kicking in college. So, I mean, this dude, he has experience. So let's put him in there. You know, let's make sure that we're getting our extra points kicked in. I think he did miss one, but you know what? That's okay. That is all right. We ended up being fine. You know, 44 points, not that much worse than 45. So Justin Reed, man, that was fantastic. I was really happy to see that, you know? And that just shows, I mean, these guys are having fun. These guys are just having a blast. And I'm really glad, you know, Justin Reed, one of our bigger offseason accusations, I mean, he's coming in and he's having fun. You know, he's having a great time. You know, I believe that was his first actual regular season experience with kicking. So it's really good to see. It's really good to see. Obviously, I'm not happy about Harrison Butker getting hurt, but he came back in the game and he did a pretty solid job. You know, he shortened his stride, and he just had like a little one step, and then, I mean, it was money. It was still money. So hopefully he's able to rehab from that. We had a couple of other guys get banged up. I believe Trey Smith got banged up a little bit, but we had Nick Allegrady come in and he did pretty solid. So I'm not going to complain about that. I really hope he does get healthy, though. He was one of our better offensive tackles last season, or not tackles, offensive guards last season. So I hope he gets back. I hope he gets healthy. We had Patrick Mahomes, who had something going on with his left wrist, but they're saying it's not an issue. So thank goodness, you know, Patrick Mahomes, please stay healthy. I get so scared whenever they talk about Patrick Mahomes getting hurt. I feel like it seems like Patrick Mahomes is kind of fragile. I don't want to have to say that, but I mean, it seems like every once in a while he's got something going on. So hopefully he stays out of injury trouble this season, because he's looking fantastic. I mean, we are red hot coming out of the gates. So just great stuff. Really great stuff from the Chiefs team. I could not be more confident. I could not be more excited. And I'm super pumped up for the season, man. I am super pumped up. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next Chiefs chat. Peace out.